This next portion of Chapter 3 will conclude our chapter and is the fourth of the 6 steps of the design process. The fourth step is all about selecting the site structure. But before we get into the various options you have, let's go through a few things. First of all, it's important that you visualize the organization of the site's pages and linking relationships. It's one thing if your site is only 1 or 2 pages, but some more complex sites can get into dozens and dozens of pages, so it's important that you have them organized. You want to organize the pages by the level of detail, and then follow the links between pages to make certain visitors can quickly click through the site to find useful information. The fewer the clicks mean satisfied site visitors. You don't want them to have to click 5 times to get to a page. And detect dead-end pages. Dead-end pages are defined as pages that currently do not fit into the linking arrangement. And then rearrange pages and revise the linking relationships, and then visualize the changes before you actually create the site. A couple of other vocab terms that are important for you to understand are storyboard and flowchart. A storyboard is a series of pages originally developed to graphically present scenes for a movie or television program. You can also storyboard for your website or create what's called a flowchart. A flowchart is a diagram that shows steps or processes. Flowcharts are another useful way to outline a site structure. An example of a storyboard is here on your screen, and you can see it starts with the home page, and then you have 4 detail pages that come off of that. And the first detail page can then lead you to 3 other detail pages. And then you see in this storyboard that they detect 1 dead end page. So watch the major underlying pages and then the page links within those, and make sure that the structure of your site makes sense. To do this, start with outlining your website. Choose the method that you find most flexible and comfortable. Certain structures make better sense than others for different websites. The first structure I want to talk about is the linear or tutorial structure. The linear or tutorial structure presents information in a specific order. So you start with the home page, and it goes to the next page, and to the next, and to the next, and so forth. It goes in a linear process. This would be good for a tutorial or a training website. Another structure is the random structure, and this is probably more of what we're used to, and arranges information without a specific order. But it's only recommended to use this for small websites. And the third structure is hierarchical structure. It comes from the words hierarchy. So you have the various levels. This organizes information into categories and subcategories, and this is going to be best used in your organizational or topical websites. Now, some sites can actually also use a combination where parts are going to be linear and then parts are hierarchical. Depends on the purpose of your site. So always go back to the site's purpose. You can see here in the graphic on your screen the website structure example. And this one is, they even color-coded for this flowchart. So you start with the home page, and then you have your main 5 pages, and each of those breaks off into a variety of those. But you can see the contact page and the testimonials page end at that. The articles page breaks off into the columns and video blog. The About Us page breaks off into history, management team, and annual report. And the products page breaks off into clothing, cleaning products, bedding, and lunch boxes. A great example showing the site structure. Just to wrap things up, we're done with this chapter, but you want to remember it always starts with the planning process. And the first step of that is to define the site's purpose. What are the goals? What are the objectives? What's your purpose statement? Step 2 is to identify that target audience. Who do you want coming to your site, and why are they coming to your site? So looking at the demographic and psychographic characteristics and going through that needs assessment to make sure you know what your visitors' needs, wants, and expectations are. The third step was determining the site's general content, making sure our content is adding value. And remembering that if it doesn't reflect the site's purpose and enhance the visitor's experience, then don't include it. And last but not least, step 4, select the site structure. In choosing, is it going to be a linear, random, or hierarchical site structure? That concludes chapter 3.